Hey, what is going on, everybody? And welcome back to the Average Gamer Podcast. My name's Classic Evolved, or Jordan, and we're back. Been a little bit. I think that's just gonna be my intro now, where I say it's been a little bit. It's been a week since the last uh podcast, I guess. And Modern Warfare, I think, had just released, so we've been in a little more than a week with the game, and we already got a lot to say about it. So we're going to be talking about that. On top of that, though, we're going to be talking about Dead by Daylight because there's a lot of controversy going on with the game. So yeah, got some stuff to talk about. So obviously, Call of Duty, it's the game everyone's playing right now. Modern Warfare. We've gone back to the Modern Warfare era. Now, first things first, campaign. Campaign was pretty good. I will say, like, I guess the reason you're trying to stop or even play the campaign is, well, spoilers, but is to stop like the Russians from getting this gas. But there never really is this like crazy incentive to stop them. There's no like, oh, they're gonna use the gas to destroy something. Like you just kind of are doing it to stop the Russians. So it's kind of like, eh. But I will say there's good missions in the game. The cutscenes are fantastic. But obviously the best missions in the campaign are where you're, spec ops, I guess. You're going in at night with your night vision and, you know, trying to stay silent, I guess. And that's actually one of the more like the final missions in the game. You're kind of in like an open area. Like it's pretty big, and you have to go to these three locations, all while Price is watching over you up on a hill, and it's night out. But you have to be careful because if you walk near street lamps, you'll be more than likely spotted. And yeah, I mean those missions were pretty cool. Overall, the campaign was like it was okay, but at the end of the campaign, Price wants to start a squad called 141, and if you know anything with MW3, you know about 141, Soap, Ghost, the whole crew really is part of 141. So kind of like interesting because before this game released, people were saying that the campaign and Price were kind of just flashbacks that he happened to be in, and that the campaign wouldn't really be about any of the Call of Duties to date. But at the end of it, it's Price talking about how he wants to start 141, which was who you play as, or that's the crew you play as in like MW3. So it did kind of connect. So that was interesting, I guess. If you're not like a Call of Duty fan, you wouldn't really probably get that at first. But overall, I mean, it was cool. It was interesting. Say the least. But then, the campaign, yeah, it's fun. But we head over to multiplayer and we're in a struggle. Let's just say that. We got everyone's running an M4 because the M4A1 is the best gun in the game, without a doubt. It's better than practically all the submachine guns, better than all the assault rifles. The only gun that's even close to it is I believe it's called the 725 shotgun, which is the Olympia. It's the Olympia, if they just want to call it what it is. But it has the range of a sniper for some reason right now. And they're going to have to nerf it because everyone's complaining about it. The shotgun is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's literally better than a sniper. And at close range, it one shots. Like, it's not even close. So it's either that or the M4A1. Most people are, or a lot of people are overkilling with both of them. Plus running Claymores and Ghost. You can't see them with UAV. And they're running Suppressor on the M4A1. Obviously, Claymores too. And they're camping. And they're just crouch walking everywhere. So, as you can see, this meta is pretty much just camp, camp, camp. Try to get streaks, and that's it. And you literally can't run around because your footsteps are so loud, and these other kids on the other team are crouching around the map in corners with silenced M4A1s and Ghost. You're just gonna get shot from just random spots because these kids are really weird. Like it's worse than the noob tubes with MW2 and One Man Army. It's worse than that right now. Like it is bad. Like I'd rather be playing. And the thing with MW2 is at least MW2 had a variety of guns that were good, even though noob tubes were really good. You know, people would run anything: the FAL, the SCAR, the M4, the AK, the UMP, dual models. Like it doesn't like, and the MW2 maps are good. That's the bigger or the other huge issue right now is that the maps are atrocious. Um, and even for competitive, it's bad. Now, the maps might be terrible, and I will say, you know, my majority of my time playing this game, and I know the majority of my time for the future of playing this game is going to be on like GBs, game battles, doing like 3v3s and 4v4s, search and destroys. I will say St. Petersburg is the worst search and destroy map I've ever seen in my life. The A site is literally just prayers. It's so bad. Um, it's probably the worst search map I've seen ever. And honestly, I've been playing that map. I probably played that map in 6 different GBs, and out of those six, that's 36 rounds or at least 36 rounds. More than that, it's probably in the 50s of rounds of search. I've probably only seen a team go B 5 times out of like 55 rounds. Yeah, so you can see it's just everyone goes A and you hope your team wins the gunfights because it's bad. But I mean, some of the other maps aren't as bad, at least for GBs and search. They could be better, let's say that. But I'm not gonna totally throw down some of the maps because some of the maps aren't terrible for search. But I will say pubs right now is atrocious. Atrocious. I can't even say the word. But yeah, you know, it's a struggle. But what I was gonna say was there was a leak in the in-game files with the latest update, and there's 39, I think 39 new maps that are in the in-game files. They have the names for them, and there's a couple of them that look like there could be remakes. One of them probably a remake of Terminal. One of them might be a remake of Favela. I don't know that for certain, but it kind of might be looking like that. One of the maps is called Slums, but Slums is obviously a Treyarch map, a Black Ops map, so I don't know about that. But I guess we'll see. And honestly, with the amount of people who are complaining, which is a majority of the community, I wouldn't be surprised if they said they're gonna have a huge update in November if they release a good amount of maps in November just to try to make up for everything. Uh, yeah. Now, um, uh, someone tweeted the other day, and it was from a dev talk with the guys from Modern Warfare, and they said this game they want it to be like new player friendly. They don't want new players to get in and just get kind of gunned, right? So they made safe places for new players, which pretty much means they just made places new players can camp. The thing is, when a new player camps, they just keep camping. Why would you change your play style when it kind of works in this game? Like with Black Ops 4, you couldn't really camp. Like you could, but you were going to get gunned eventually because it's just how it was. So people kind of had to adapt and learn kind of the timings and, you know, kind of where to look on the map depending where your teammates are. It just kind of it flowed and people had to learn, but this game just kids are camping and it's really sad to see. And honestly, this might be one of the worst openings of a Call of Duty since COD Ghost. It's bad. It's really bad. And obviously they can save their game. They can do a lot that, you know, can make the game for the better, obviously. I mean, I know Call of Duty Ghost, once they started releasing their DLCs, the game was actually kind of interesting. If you guys remember, they had the Michael Myers map, and if you ended up getting the score streak on the map, like the briefcase, and you did the little challenge, so it might be two prone kills or whatever, you could turn into, I think it was Michael Myers, and just start running around the map with an axe. And it was like, what? And then there was the Predator map. And if you did the, briefcase thing on the map, you could turn into Predator. And Ghost started doing these interesting things. And honestly, if I could go back, like, their DLCs were really fun. Like, the maps on the DLCs were really fun compared to the, default maps they launched with. And the thing with this year is obviously the DLCs are free, so there's only, I guess, something to look forward to this year, but they got to act quick because right now they're struggling. They're probably losing a lot of players from launch week with how bad the game's kind of turning into. So they this update in November that they're talking about has to be huge. Has to be huge. And I think they'll be able to kind of turn it around, hopefully. Competitive this year obviously is Hardpoint, Domination, and Search. I'm surprised they didn't do CTF, Capture the Flag, but obviously they have their reasons, I guess. And obviously they've had to have talked with competitive players or just the competitive scene, the guys who are throwing on this whole franchise league thing, because there's no way they're going to be playing on the maps that we've launched with in the league. There's no way. These maps are that bad that I just don't think they could physically do this. There's no way. But they're probably going to. So, I don't know. I was hoping they'd release like a competitive mode in the game, like a ranked mode, and a competitive map set with like maps they know they built for competitive or something. But because the maps right now, like, watching competitive is so boring. I can't watch it. So we'll see what happens. Maybe there's a little hope, but they gotta do a lot of fixing for the game for it to turn around. But in other news, I said we were going to talk about Dead by Daylight. Yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff we had for Call of Duty. I mean, they gotta work real quick to fix the game, or else, yeah, it's looking rough. It's looking rough. Dead by Daylight though just had a Twitch Rivals tournament, and they said in the tournament, or in the beginning of the tournament, one of the rules was if a player DCs, they'll replay the map. Now, I'm not like a huge Dead by Daylight player. I'm not going to sit here and say like I'm a rank 1 survivor killer. I don't play killer very much because of the queues. I'd rather not sit here for 15 minutes so I can get a match that's over in 4 minutes because kids gen rush. But I will say, I'm watching Twitch. Well, I didn't even watch Twitch Rivals, but I'm looking back on highlights from Twitch Rivals because I was like, oh, it's Dead by Daylight on Twitch Rivals. That'll be interesting. And no. Well, it turns out they said that if a player DCs, they'll replay the map. Pug DCs to give Edgar the hatch, which is a total exploit. It's so bad. And they did it in front of thousands of people, and boom, they get the win. I'm pretty sure if a survivor escaped, the survivors won. I'm not sure how it exactly worked, but they get literally a survivor out when it would have been a 4K just because they used an exploit for DCing. Now, there's been some talk going around, and I like watching Hexy. I think Hexy is a top tier Dead by Daylight streamer, and he's kind of been talking a lot about the DCs. Turns out the devs said they have an automated system where if you DC a certain percentage of your matches, you'll be banned. Now, no one knows this percentage. Some people have been saying it's 40% of your matches or 20%, which is a big difference. I mean, that's a difference between if you DC 10 out of 100 matches, or that's a difference between you can only DC 10 out of 100 matches or 40 out of 100 matches. So it's kind of like, which one is it? It's probably somewhere in between those two. But a lot of the people who DC aren't getting banned. So what is it? And the devs said they don't really care much, and they probably won't do much about people who send in, complaints about DCers because they have their automated system to deal with the DCers, and it's like, no, you don't, or at least it's not working. I think personally, DCing is such a huge issue. I don't even know why they have a leave game feature in the game. Like, how do you have that in your game? In a game where literally the game rides on having 4 survivors and a killer. And the thing is, a player DCing not only destroys the survivor's chance of escaping, which at the end of the day is what all the survivors really want to do, but it also literally stops the killer from being able to pip half the time, because the killer has one less person he can kill. And I think this, like, the killer might get a few points for someone DCing, but it's not enough to do anything, right? And it's one of those things that's so frustrating, how a dev team will not do anything about what their biggest issue in their game. I mean, obviously there's other issues like Hillbilly, but you know, they're never going to touch that. No. But DCing, they have an automated system for. Like, that's bad. That's bad. I mean, the only other issue, I mean, for me personally, I run into DCs, you know, pretty on the probably average, you know. Every 3 games I probably get a DC or 2. You know, sometimes it's more than that. Sometimes it's like a survive with friends and I get 3 people to DC and then I'm alone. We didn't even get a generator done. Killer finds the hatch and then I'm pretty much just screwed, like, because I know the killer wants to get the kill on me, so I'll just go hide in a corner and let the entity kill me, because it's like, what am I supposed to do? But the only other issue I have with the game, I guess at the moment, for me is, I mean, these dedicated servers, there's some funky stuff that's going on. I'll get hit through windows, even though I'm like 4 feet outside the window. And I guess that happened even with people, you know, hosting the servers either way. But I feel like it's happening so much more. Or I get hit like through a pallet, even though I threw the pallet down before he, like, it's some funky stuff. And it gets me so mad because it's like the game just worked. He would not have hit me there. Like, I don't understand. But, you know, what are you going to do? The only other big issue I have with the game is obviously Hillbilly. I mean, he's the best killer in the game, without a doubt. And right behind him is probably Freddy. I know a lot of people think Spirit is like a top 2 killer, you know, S tier, top of the line, but like, I fear Freddy more than I fear Spirit, really. I mean, people say you can't loop Spirit, but it's kind of like, you don't loop spirits. You get to a loop, you know, you throw the pallet down. The second you know they're about to phase shift or anything, you just run from that loop. Get to the next loop. Obviously, it's harder to stay off of Spirit. Eventually, Spirit's going to get you. And it sucks. And really, I mean, against any high-level killer or any player who's competent at all, they're eventually going to get you if they want to. There's nothing you can do about it. Spirit just gets you maybe a little bit faster. But the thing is, she still can't one-shot. And it's the same with Freddy. He can teleport, but when he comes out of the teleport, he can't one-shot. And the time it takes him to teleport and hit you twice is honestly more time than it takes for Hillbilly to get across the map with his chainsaw and then one-shot you. And on it, how is Hillbilly still a killer in the game? Is what I don't understand. He can chainsaw across the map in like 5 seconds, and then chainsaw back across the map in 5 seconds. Oh my goodness. And he can chainsaw across the map and then hit you and one-shot you, if he gets lucky. Obviously, if you know he's coming because you can hear his chainsaw from a mile away. But even so, sometimes it doesn't even matter if he's has barbecue and chili, and yeah. But that's one of those things. Like, I don't understand how he's still in the game. He's so broken. It's unbelievable. And people say just loop him, but it's like, it's just I don't understand it. I don't understand it, but I mean, what are you gonna do about it? Um, but yeah, I mean, I've been playing some Dead by Daylight, obviously Call of Duty. Call of Duty has been, yeah, it's been rough, obviously, like I was saying earlier. Then tried to hop on some Battlefield 5. They just had their update. Well, I don't know if it was just. I think it's called Pacific Storm or something. It's the Japanese islands, and I don't even know if it's supposed to be the Japanese mainland. Um, but it's pretty much just islands. It's like Pacific. What's it called from Battlefield 4? Oh, I'm pulling a blank. Personally, I don't like islandy maps because it's kind of just like map knowledge is thrown out the window because it's just some hills and you gotta hope you're on the right hill or whatever when an enemy's peeking or whatever. It's I just don't personally like island maps really that much, and there's not like a whole lot of just natural or building cover or anything. There's just, like some trenches on some of the maps and whatnot, but overall it's kind of like eh. And it's the same issue that keeps coming up for me at Battlefield 5 and even Battlefield 1 is every gun has the same attachments. Like legitimately. It's that one like red dot looking scope from the World War II era that even Call of Duty World War II had. And then it might be a scoped scope, like a 3 times or a 4 times. And then it's this just dumb like dot scope thing. I don't even know how to. I don't even know what it's called, or iron sights. And then outside of that, there's really not a whole lot of like other attachments you can throw on the gun, like grips and whatnot. Now, you might say, oh, Battlefield 4 had the same attachments on like every gun. Yeah, but Battlefield 4 also had like 25 to 30 different scopes you could put on any gun. Same with attachments. There was like 15 attachments you could throw on any gun. Laser sight, suppressor, like it went on and on and on. There's so much variety in how you could build a gun in Battlefield like 4. Battlefield 5, it's like there's like 5 attachments and it's like the same 5 things you can put on every single gun in the game. The only difference really in the game is the gun's accuracy. And it's like, okay. Eh. Like what's the point of playing it? On top of that, as well as like the maps are kinda eh. So I don't know. I don't know. I feel like games have just kind of fallen in quality of maps and guns over the past couple years. Kind of sucks. Uh, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say like Modern Warfare, for example, has a bad variety of guns. No, it has a good variety of guns. It's just that the M4 is the best gun in the game. Does it have a variety of attachments? Actually, Modern Warfare has a lot of attachments, like a lot. They have a ton of variety that you can do with your weapons. The issue is, what's the point of having a ton of variety of weapons when you could sit there and throw a red dot sight with an M4 and a grip and have the best gun in the game by far? Not even close. It's kind of like, okay, you know, eh, kind of cool, but I'm just gonna run the M4 because why would I touch the FAMAS? Why would I touch the MP5? Why would I touch the MP7? The MP5 and MP7 are bad, but still, eh. Compared to the M4, it's like, I don't know, man. One game though I got on the Halloween sale for Steam is called Darkwood. It's a top-down horror game. And you might say, how is a top-down game scary? But if you don't know what Darkwood is, look it up. I actually played it like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Um, it's been so long since I played it, and I'm probably gonna play it today or tomorrow. I don't know. I got to get back into the game and kind of get the groove of things. But it's just one of those games that's so good, but I forget everything, and I never ended up beating it either. So I gotta hop back on that. Outside of that, though, there's not much.
to look forward to. Honestly, I'll probably end up getting FIFA 20 sooner or later. And yeah, what even else comes out this year? I don't think there's much, which is super unfortunate because like I feel like there should be, but nope. Now, I didn't get to play much Battlefield 1, and I kind of want to go back and play it because I didn't get to play it much, but at the same time, it's kind of like, do I really want to? Uh, one of those just, I don't know. I didn't like it a whole lot when I played on PlayStation, but I never touched the DLCs or anything, so it's kind of like, should I maybe try it? I don't know. Obviously right now it's Modern Warfare GBs, Rocket League, and a little bit of Dead by Daylight, but Dead by Daylight kind of gets me mad super fast, so I've kind of been a little bit off and on with that, but I don't know. If you guys have games you play that are different than anything I talk about normally, uh, throw it down in the comments because I will try almost anything at this point because I don't know what's going on with gaming, but no good games are coming out. It's actually sad. Like I know Death Stranding is the new game, I guess, that a lot of people are looking forward to. On top of that, Cyberpunk 2077. But for me, it's kind of like, eh, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna get Cyberpunk 2077. I'll probably watch someone play it instead. Um, the one thing I guess there is to look forward to is Halo Infinite comes out in 2020, and I guarantee you it's gonna be on PC as well. I almost guarantee it. So that'll be, I guess, interesting. On top of that as well, um, I know people are being able to play Halo Reach uh, on PC, or at least I think people are getting into the beta or whatever for the PC version. Um, and I wanted. Oh, and you can hear it right now, can't you? Yeah, so I think they're starting to send out beta codes for people who signed up for their uh the Halo Master Edition's PC release, which they're gonna do. Now I don't know when they're gonna do it, but I am pretty sure people are starting to get into the PC beta, which is super interesting because if Halo, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach, they come out on PC, I'll easily play that. I remember playing Halo Reach when it first sorta came out. And they had like the rush mode, like the rush from Battlefield, but it was obviously Halo Reach. I was like, wow, this game is cool. And I never ended up playing Halo Reach as much as I probably should have because the game was so good. But to be able to go back and play that, especially on PC as well, I think is super super cool. And I kind of can't wait to do that. Now I signed up personally for like the alpha and beta, you know, releases to try to get in as like a tester, and hopefully they'll pick me, but who knows. But just watching the gameplay, this actually looks super cool. This looks awesome. But obviously we'll see what happens with the game with that. uh so yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of all we got. Yeah, Call of Duty, hopefully they fix it. Dead by Daylight, whatever. It's Dead by Daylight. It's not that big a deal, I guess. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. I know we kind of rambled about whatever, but you know, obviously Call of Duty, it's in a weird state. Hopefully they can fix it. Hopefully they make it, real nice. But I guess we'll see at the end of the day, and um, we'll see where I guess the next game we end up playing leads us. And I guess I'll talk to you guys whenever I talk to you. But again, thank you guys so much for watching the podcast, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.